Hey there, my name's Olu and welcome to the halcyonic.aura. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. You know we love to have you. In this video today, I wanted to talk to y'all about what exactly a transit is. I spent a lot of time on my channel talking about how the transits are affecting my life, but I figured I don't have any video that explains exactly what that means. So this is going to be an introductory video into the astrological transits. So in order to understand what a transit is, we have to first understand what a birth chart is. So your birth chart is a snapshot of where the planets were in the sky at the exact moment of your birth. So, for example, if you were born on a day where the sun was in Aries and at a time where Taurus was on the horizon, then that would mean that you are an Aries sun, Taurus rising. And the planetary influences in your birth chart will forever remain the same. For the purpose of this video, when we get into more complicated things in astrology, such as progressions, things start to get a little bit different. But for the sake of understanding, let's just assume that your birth chart energies will always stay the same. But the planets don't just stay in one place after you're born, they move. The planets are moving every second of the day. So in order to understand the influences that the planets are making in your birth chart at this exact moment, we need to look at the astrological transits. As the planets transit through the different signs, the houses will show you the areas of your life where the planets are influencing you specifically. There are 12 houses in the birth chart, so you have 12 major places where you will see the astrological influences in your life because each house represents an area of life. Each planet transits the houses for differing amounts of time. The average length of time for planetary transits can be as short as 20 days or as long as over 30 years. And there are two main things that influence the length of time in which a planet will spend transiting through a sign or a house. The first thing is whether or not the planet goes retrograde during its transit. So if we're looking at a specific planet, let's say Venus, for example, the average amount of time that Venus transits through a sign or house will be about 20 to 25 days. However, if Venus goes retrograde, that time frame can increase to up to 60 days. So whether or not a planet goes retrograde is very important to look at when we're looking at where the planets are in your birth chart and how they're transiting. The second thing that influences the length of time that a planet will spend in a specific sign or house is how large the house is in your birth chart. So there are many different housing systems in astrology that you can use to calculate your birth chart, but there are two housing systems in which this second thing does not apply. Those systems would be the whole sign system and the equal house system. So in those systems, the reason why this does not apply to them is because every house in the birth chart is assumed to begin at 0 degrees and end at 30 degrees. Therefore, each planet will transit the house for the same amount of time. However, if you are using any other housing system, including the Placidus system, which is the most common and also the system that I use, you have to look at the size of the houses in your birth chart. So for example, in my own personal birth chart, my first and second houses, as well as their corresponding opposite houses, so the 7th and 8th houses, are a lot larger than the rest of the houses in my chart. Therefore, when planets go through the first and second and 7th and 8th houses in my chart, they tend to spend longer than the average amount of time in those houses. The reverse is also true. So for the houses in my birth chart that are smaller than average, the planetary transits will go through those houses quicker than they will for the average house size. So, I know this was a lot to wrap your head around, but if you were able to follow along, kudos to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I am more than happy to help clarify things so that you understand exactly what we're dealing with when we talk about astrological transits. And if you found any value in this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see how the transits are affecting me personally. I tend to talk about how the planets are affecting my own personal life as I'm experiencing them because I think it will help some of y'all if you're going through the same thing. And also it adds a level of understanding when you're listening to the planetary transit information from someone as they're going through it. So if this is the kind of content you want to see, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye. Therefore, there are 12 major aspects of life where you are most likely to see the influence of these